I don't represent anyone. I'm with the circuit court.
I don't represent anyone. I'm with the circuit court. Objection, clarification. Are you saying that you represent the circuit court? And if so, who does that entity represent? This is a word game he's playing right here.
I don't represent either of the parties, either the state or you.
Objection, point of clarification. Do you have a law license that is issued by the state? Yes or no? Objection, point of clarification. What is the name of the entity that signs your paychecks so that you can cash them? It's the state of Oregon, motherfucker. You represent corruption. You represent tyranny. You represent theft, violence, and murder, ultimately, you and your ilk, your kind, your parasitic, leech-like behavior on society, Judge. That's what you represent, sir. Hello, YouTube. Welcome to another judicial commentary hearing by Cop Watch Hawaii. This one comes to us from a friend of mine we'll call Hero, and it happened all within the last 4 to 5 weeks, and it is over 3 different hearings. 2 separate ones that are recorded here I'll be commenting on, and then a third which is basically kind of a story, and I'll relate that very quickly so that you know exactly where this has ended up and where it's going. So, this hero of ours has been so effective and so terrifying to these bureaucrats that the judge actually coordinated for 9 armed police to enter the courtroom at a coordinated point in time and line up against the wall in a tactic of intimidation to get Hero to quit asking for clarifications of this jurisdictional issue and to quit effectively pointing out the illogical, irrational, unethical, and criminal behaviors of the judge. It was quite shocking to hear that story. I may add him on here at the tail end to give his own version. We shall see. In the meantime, hearing 1 is coming up, followed by hearing 2, and we'll take it from there. Here it goes. Oh, just some setup. Our hero was at an airport and asked to avoid certain invasive security measures. He was a little unaware of the reality of airports and thought that this world would be reasonable, and it was not. So after he didn't recognize the verbal cues that the airport security were giving him that let him know he was going to be arrested soon, he was arrested and strip searched as part of that arrest because it happened at an airport. So I'm not going to comment on his future actions. Let it just be known that this judge will very much be held responsible. I'm kind of taking it on as a personal matter to ensure that happens with 100% effort on my part, and I'm thousands of miles away. That's how heinous this judge acted. And I guess that's all I can say about that. So no comment, just know that these issues will be addressed, and I'll be following up on this in future videos to make sure this judge and this prosecutor get confronted with the full weight of both other components of the bureaucracy as well as the full weight of public opinion. I hope they both enjoy that. Welcome to the 21st century.
I don't know one way or the other. Apparently, Mr. Wallace had some reason to be concerned about that.
The judge is bringing up a pre-coordinated attack by him and the prosecutor. They're about to report that the hero here has been recording these hearings and posting them on YouTube. Rather interesting, right? Remember, this is all happening on hearing number 1. Well, it's number 2 for him. He got bulldozed in the first attempted arraignment. This is attempted arraignment number 2, just to keep it in context. Okay, so the judge is talking and the prosecutor is about to chime in. The audio is relatively poor as always, so I'll try to restate when it gets extra fuzzy so it's clear to you.
Okay.
President of the courtroom, here you see a waiver of counsel in the court's file.
Actually, I don't, but that's okay. We can talk about that. Good morning.
Your Honor, I feel notify the court that Mr. Escher's last hearing he did, or perhaps he was a companion who seated in the back and recorded the proceeding and posted on YouTube, potentially in violation of the supplemental local rules for the uniform trial court rules. And I just thought I'd notify the court that that happened and let the court do with that information.
Okay, so the
Prosecutor just tattletaled on Hero with his suspicions of this being posted to YouTube.
that, of course, is not authorized. You're not recording our proceedings here today, are you?
Not authorized? That's how the court system says. We get to operate in secret. You don't even get to record anything, not even audio, even though you don't even have a lawyer, and we do. And we're all fighting against you. You can't even record this for audio so you can study later and defend yourself at later hearings. Nope, sorry.
No.
And sir, are you with Mr. Esbrook? You're not recording?
I am, but I'm not recording.
Okay, all right.
Now the judge asks somebody else in the crowd if he's with Mr. Hero. What business of that is his?
I also object to the statement that my last recording or the last hearing was recorded and posted on YouTube.
So our hero just objects to the accusation.
Okay. I don't know one way or the other. Apparently, Mr. Wallace had some reason to be concerned about that, and so
Judge just says the prosecutor should be seems to be concerned about it, but I don't know why the judge needs to entertain this any further. He certainly can't show evidence of this accusation. So why they're spending time on it, I don't know. Other than just trying to entrap our hero here, obviously.
so be it. As long as they stop happening, that's the main thing.
You can call the case, Judge.
Yeah.
So they abandon that and call the case.
It's a matter of State v. Robert Esbrook 160R11512. This is postured for a potential community court entry. I have provided Mr. Esbrook with the state's offer, and that's essentially what we're at, Judge.
Okay, so Mr. Esbrook, I reviewed the handwritten document that you submitted today with the staff, and then that caused me to kind of look back at the documents in the case to see if I can just kind of...
Now, keep in mind, this is a judge at the stage who doesn't know yet how effective Robbie's going to be in his court. So you're hearing him be still kind of civil. Just keep that in mind.
Case. And if I'm understanding correctly, in the Justice Center, Judge Todd appointed an attorney from the Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you were unhappy about that. You didn't want the judge to appoint that lawyer or any lawyer for you. Is that a correct statement?
I did object to the appointment of an attorney at the time because I was still in the process of trying to investigate the cause and nature of the proceeding before I made that decision.
Okay.
So the judge just asked him to verify, hey, this other judge in this other court tried to get a public defender on you and you objected. Is that correct? Yeah. The only thing I want to bring up here is that you have to be very careful when judges start throwing out words like, oh, you aren't happy with the lawyer. Because what they'll try to do is get you to voluntarily abandon what they have to respect as far as your quote-unquote right to assistance of counsel. Okay? That's a checkbox they have to check. This person has waived their right or assistance to counsel. We don't need to do that. All we need to do is say that, we don't see any advantage or any, how am I going to phrase this? We don't want to use bar members who are licensed by the same entity that is labeled as prosecuting us. Namely, in this case, the state of blank, Oregon, in his case. Okay? We don't want our assistance of counsel to only come from that pool. We would like assistance of counsel how we define it, and that can happen through a phone call on speakerphone, so I can talk to a friend at some other part of the world while this is going on to serve as my assistance of counsel. this is kind of an outside box of thing I am suggesting, because obviously all these courts and judges, they want us to have their lawyers, bar member lawyers. They don't want us to have real actual assistants of counsel, people who are independent of the system and who will actually work for our good. They don't want that. So what I'm doing is saying, hey, I don't want any of your lawyers because they're all basically working for the same entity that's prosecuting me. You're all paid by the same entity, the fictional one. And I would like my assistants of counsel to come through my own assistance, not yours. Get it? That's it. Moving on.
And so let's circle back and think about that aspect of things now. Do you want the court to appoint an attorney to assist you with the proceedings moving forward?
Yeah, I guess he's just asking him if he wants now a court-appointed attorney as opposed to a public defender. This judge might be thinking, well, the public defenders aren't skilled enough to manipulate this guy into complying. What if we give him the option of a court-appointed attorney? That guy gets more money, he's more skilled, maybe he'll be able to convince him to abandon all of this and just comply. Bend that knee.
It is not my, well, I couldn't really make that decision at the time because as far as I know, I have not been arraigned and I'm still trying to determine the causal nature of this proceedings.
Ah, perfect answer. How the hell am I supposed to prepare for my own defense when I haven't even had the cause of the accusations and proceedings clarified to me? How can I even shop for assistance of counsel unless I am made aware via clarification of the nature of the and causes of the charges and proceedings? Right? That's what he just said. Good job.
Okay.
Just if I may approach.
Yeah.
I have a copy of the waiver of counsel signed by Mr.
Ah, here it is. See, the prosecutor just asked to approach. I've got a copy of the waiver to counsel, and here comes that waiver to counsel. Here's where it is.
I think maybe it just didn't get scanned.
And my understanding from speaking to the representative from our office, the handle of the arraignment was that Mr. Estabrook was in fact arraigned, and I think Ms. Colette stood in on his behalf. Is my
So the prosecutor's trying to say, oh yeah, he was arraigned, which just means he did enter a plea, or a plea was forced and entered on his behalf, because that judge said that he refused to enter a plea, which was totally a lie, obviously. They just got to use any tactic to get him to enter a plea. They must get you past step one. They are absolutely it's critical to them that they get you past step one, past that arraignment, to enter a knowing, voluntary, and intelligent plea. But do they say informed? It's the informed plea that we're looking for. Specifically, where's your evidence of jurisdiction? Ha ha ha, that's the informed part.
recollection what it was told.
Okay, and that's kind of what the record reflects. And so,
Can you clarify that for me? Because are you saying that I have been arraigned?
Good job, hero. The prosecutor just put into the record that, oh yeah, well, this defendant, he's been arraigned, and this other judge did it. So just to clarify, he has been arraigned. And now, hero is speaking up saying, excuse me, clarification, what?
here's so.
The judge says, it appears so. Don't ever let a judge say, it appears so, could be, should, might be, maybe. None of that. Clarification, does it appear so, or is it actually a fact? Or is it not? I'm looking for clarification on the current status of it. It appears so does not help me defend myself here, right?
It looks like, well, when you were in the Justice Center on March the 1st,
Well, did I enter a knowing involuntary plea at that time?
I'm sure a not guilty plea was entered. And
That's not an answer to his question. It's very important that you listen to every word a judge says to make sure they answer your question. Our hero asked, did I enter a knowing involuntary plea at that time? And what did the judge say? Do you remember? What did the judge say? Let's rewind it and find out.